educating the prisoners, giving them meditation programs, giving them vocational skills, giving them clean food, clean living, safe living, non-violent living, harmonious living, all listed in Justice Krishna Iyer's judgments. So Mr. Justice Krishna Iyer is the father of prison reforms. I followed him to the letter and spirit. Mr. Justice Krishna Iyer did it for the whole nation. I did it in my own small way for the prisoners. Whatever Mr. Justice Krishna Iyer said is across the country, whether it's a prison in south, north, east or west, every prisoner is a beneficiary of the vision and foresight and the letter, the power of the pen of Mr. Justice Krishna Iyer.
The judgments he pronounced brought new light to the dark prisons.
ജയിലിലെ ഇരുണ്ട മുറികളിൽ സൂര്യപ്രകാശത്തിനും ശുദ്ധവായുവിനും പ്രവേശനം നൽകിയത് ജസ്റ്റിസ് PR കൃഷ്ണയ്യരാണ്. 1957 മന്ത്രിയായിരിക്കെ കോടതി മുറികൾക്കുള്ളിൽ പ്രതികളെ വിലങ്ങ് വെക്കുന്നത് അദ്ദേഹം നിരോധിച്ചു. ജയിൽ പുള്ളികളുടെ വേഷം മാറ്റി ഒരു സാധാരണ മലയാളിയുടെ ഈ വേഷം ധരിപ്പിച്ചത് അദ്ദേഹമാണ്. 3 സെൻട്രൽ ജയിലുകളിലും കാന്റീനുകൾ തുറന്നു. ജയിൽ പുള്ളികൾക്ക് കൂലി നൽകുന്ന ഏർപ്പാടും അദ്ദേഹമാണ് ആരംഭിച്ചത്. ജയിൽ സന്ദർശനത്തിനും പരോളിനുമുള്ള സൗകര്യങ്ങൾ കൂടുതൽ ഉദാരമാക്കി. സെൻട്രൽ ജയിലുകളിൽ പൊതുയോഗവും പ്രസംഗവും അന്തേവാസികളുടെ കലാപ്രകടനങ്ങളും ഉൾപ്പെടുത്തി വാർഷികാഘോഷങ്ങൾ നടത്തി. യുവാക്കളായ തടവുകാർക്ക് പഠിക്കാനും പരീക്ഷ എഴുതാനുമുള്ള സൗകര്യങ്ങൾ ഏർപ്പെടുത്തിയതും ശ്രീ കൃഷ്ണയ്യരാണ്.
It was shortly after his release from prison, Krishna Iyer built his dream house, which he referred to as the paradise on earth. It was a sprawling mansion made of teak, rose and jackwoods in 8 acres of prime land abundant with coconut palms facing the Talasheri beach. After a vigorous session of tennis in the evenings, Krishna Iyer used to relax with his wife Sharada in the bench behind his house, intently watching the sea. Krishna Iyer, who had been imbibing the ideologies of Gandhiji and Nehru with a little left-leaning, contested the first general elections in India in 1952 under the new constitution as a candidate of the KMPP Communist Alliance. He won election and became a member of the Madras Legislative Assembly. When the reconstitution of the states took place in 1956, the MLAs from Malabar were relocated to Kerala. In the first general elections of Kerala in 1957, Krishna Iyer contested as an independent candidate from the Talasheri constituency. He became a minister in the first ever democratically elected communist government in the world, handling jail, social welfare, electricity, irrigation and inland navigation departments. As the irrigation minister, he formulated new and innovative methods for irrigation. In order to augment the power generation, he designed new hydroelectric projects. Kuttiyadi project in Kozhikode district and the Pothundi project in Palakkad are the crowning jewels of these pioneering efforts. When the EMS ministry was dissolved in 1959, Krishna Iyer did not return to the Talasheri court. Instead, he commenced practice at the High Court of Kerala in Ernakulam. Another assembly election arrived in 1965. The Communist Party could not think of any candidate other than the well-known Krishna Iyer for the Talasheri constituency. But the party had one precondition. Krishna Iyer must contest the elections under the Communist Party symbol, which was not acceptable to Iyer. As a result, Krishna Iyer contested against the party candidate as an independent and lost the elections by 23 votes. He then turned to practice at the High Court. The election tribunal, which heard the appeal, declared Krishna Iyer elected by 7 votes. When Krishna Iyer was at the peak of his profession, the then Chief Justice, Mr. M.S. Menon, sought his consent for being appointed as a judge of the High Court. Krishna Iyer was sworn in as a judge of the High Court on 2nd July 1968 and continued in that position till July 17, 1973. Even though he was a High Court judge only for a brief period, he judiciously used the law at his disposal and pronounced judgments with the sole objective of ensuring that justice was done.
I knew Krishna Iyer as early as 1957-58 period. I used to engage Krishna Iyer as a senior advocate to appear for me in appeals for the cases which I dealt with in the trial court. And on occasions when I sat next to him in the High Court, the arguments were not merely a fluent flow, it was a peroration studded with the legal phraseology, legal terminology, very inimitable to him. His vocabulary is by himself. Nobody can possess that vocabulary. And then suddenly he became a judge of the High Court, a position which we never expected that he will accept, considering the voracious practice he was commanding at that time. When he accepted High Court judgeship, the salary of the judge was not even a portion of the fees of one case he was getting. So it would have been a great sacrifice on his part. Fortunately for the country, he was elevated without becoming a Chief Justice. And he marked his presence in the High Court during the short period.
During his tenure in the High Court, Justice Krishna Iyer appears to have touched on almost all the fields of law. The basic concept that I have been able to trace through his judgments is that there is always an embedded constitutional vision in almost every order or judgment, either short or long. This particularly reflects the fact that he had glowing inside him a constitutional vision of continuity in his own practical manner of putting things to use for the entire Republic of India. Later it grew that these concepts were brought in to globalize his vision beyond the constitutional limits of a particular nation. Be it handling labor disputes, civil disputes, criminal disputes, land reforms matters, whatever be the jurisdiction, he had always shown an inclination to think by creating an alchemy of the different parts of the Constitution, particularly the directive principles of state policy being taken at tandem with the fundamental rights and fundamental duties, etc., which could be conceived in the constitutional front.
While he was the judge of the High Court, Krishna Iyer's best friend, Mr. Mohan Kumaramangalam, asked him to become the member of the Central Law Commission at Delhi. The solid advice of his dear friend that working as a member of the Central Law Commission under the chairmanship of former Chief Justice Dr. Gajendra Gadkar would benefit Krishna Iyer in the long run made him relocate his workplace to Delhi. Thereafter, Delhi became the center of his activities. Staying at a fine bungalow at 7 AB Pandara Road in New Delhi from September 1971, Krishna Iyer carried out his activities for the Law Commission. The draft document that Krishna Iyer prepared as the chairman of the Central Council for Legal Aid to the Poor later on became the country's most important basic document for providing legal protection to the poor and the weaker sections.
നമ്മൾ ഇന്ന് കാണുന്ന സൗജന്യ നിയമസഹായം ഒരു ഭരണഘടന അധിഷ്ഠിതമായ അവകാശം ഈ ഒരു കൺസെപ്റ്റ് രൂപം കൊടുത്തത് ജസ്റ്റിസ് കൃഷ്ണ അയ്യരാണ്. 1972 ഒരു എക്സ്പെർട്ട് കമ്മിറ്റി തന്നെ കേന്ദ്ര സർക്കാർ രൂപം കൊടുത്തപ്പോൾ അതിൻ്റെ നായകനായി നിയമിച്ചതും ജസ്റ്റിസ് കൃഷ്ണ അയ്യരെയായിരുന്നു. റൂൾ ഓഫ് ലോ ഈസ് ഓൾമോസ്റ്റ് റൂൾ ഓഫ് ലൈഫ് ആസ് ഫാർ ആസ് ആൻ ഇന്ത്യൻ സിറ്റിസൺ ഈസ് കൺസേൺഡ്. ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ളൊരു കൺസെപ്റ്റ് മനസ്സിൽ സൂക്ഷിച്ചിരുന്ന ഒരു വ്യക്തിയായിരുന്നു ജസ്റ്റിസ് കൃഷ്ണയ്യർ. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ നിയമസഹായം എന്നുള്ളത് ഒരു വ്യക്തിക്ക് കൊടുക്കാവുന്ന ഭരണഘടനയിലെ ഔദാര്യമല്ല, അതൊരു വ്യക്തിയുടെ അവകാശമാണ് എന്നുള്ളൊരു ആശയം അവതരിപ്പിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് അത് കേവലം സംസ്ഥാനങ്ങളുടെ മാത്രം ഒരു ഉത്തരവാദിത്തമല്ല എന്നും ഭരണഘടന അധിഷ്ഠിതമായ കേന്ദ്രത്തിൻ്റെ ഒരു ഉത്തരവാദിത്തം കൂടിയാണ് എന്ന് അവതരിപ്പിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് അതിനൊരു വ്യവസ്ഥാപിതമായ ഘടനയുണ്ടാക്കി.
On 17th July 1973, Krishnaiyer was elevated as the judge of the Supreme Court. In the following 7.5 years, the long hallowed corridors of the Supreme Court had the privilege to bear witness to heated discussions on various new principles of law that were unheard of hitherto. The journey of Krishnaiyer from this chamber through the sprawling verandas to his court number 3 resulted in hundreds of judgments combining justice with compassion.
Justice Krishnaiyer, and in my view his whole life was a documentary on how best the judiciary can manage to uplift the people of this country, particularly those who have been deprived and are in need of sustenance. He was a host unto himself. For the 8 or 9 years that he sat in the Supreme Court, he distinguished himself as a champion, not only a champion of the poor and the needy, but a champion of human rights. What is most striking about Krishnaiyer is that he lived till almost 100 years. And perhaps his post-retirement years were the most fruitful for the country, because he became, by reason of his utterances and his interjections at the right time, the conscience of the nation.
In the case of an IFS official, Muthamma, Justice Krishnaiyer displayed exemplary courage and exceptional acumen in striking down the relevant provision of law that had tinges of gender discrimination.
People say and criticize he writes such long judgments. Look at his English, why is it like this? So I once asked him, sir, why do you write such long judgments? His answer to me was, look, it's important for me to educate my brother judges. It is important for me to educate the bar. As I said, I grew up in his shadow. I know that after me there are many generations of lawyers who have been influenced by his work and also by the fact that people like me carried it forward. So this is, I will always remember Krishnaiyer as a pioneer of a new jurisprudence for the oppressed sections of society. No doubt when it came to women, obviously he is the judge who wrote the judgment in Muthamma's case, where he questioned why marriage should be a reason to be disqualified from being in foreign service. So we know of his commitment to gender justice, and fortunately for us we have been able to carry it forward.
Krishnaiyer had always stood for the freedom of the downtrodden and their innate liberation, thereby adding an ethereal glow to his entire career.
I personally met Justice Krishnaiyer after I went to Cochin as the Chief Justice of Kerala in 2010 March. Coming to Justice Iyer's contribution to law, two areas where Justice Iyer's contribution is very profound, in my opinion, are prison reforms and the rights of the convicts. The other area where Justice Iyer's contribution is very profound, in my opinion, is the election law. There, perhaps Justice Iyer had an advantage more than any other judge because Justice Iyer not only was a great lawyer and a great judge, he was actually involved in politics. He contested elections. So that understanding immensely helped Justice Iyer's formulating the various concepts of election law.
While residing at this house at 2 Teenmurti Marg, one of the greatest tragedies of Krishna Iyer's personal life occurred. The untimely demise of his beloved wife, Srimati Sharada Krishna Iyer. Their divine matrimony had lasted just 33 years. Sharada Krishna Iyer's ill health started with an acute breathing problem during one of their Nainital trips. Mrs. Krishna Iyer survived a subsequent heart surgery at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, but the underlying heart condition remained unresolved. She was taken to the United States for advanced treatment. She was admitted to the St. Mary's Hospital at Milwaukee, presently known as Columbia St. Mary's. 2 surgeries close on the heels of each other, but unfortunately, her heart had stopped beating at the end of it all. Sharada was always an everlasting memory for Krishna Iyer. Amidst the disciplined and the demanding lifestyle of Krishna Iyer, Sharada always acted as a soothing and comforting melody of Veena. Krishna Iyer had always surrendered before her unrelenting love and affection. V.R. Krishna Iyer had never once believed that his wife was indeed dead. When he once revealed that he was often in communion with his departed wife's soul through a medium, it raised a virtual storm of heated debate and controversy.
1975 തോന്നുന്നു ഡൽഹിയിലൊരു ആർബിട്രേഷൻ കേസിന് ചെല്ലുകയും അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ വീട്ടിൽ താമസിക്കുകയും ചെയ്യാൻ അദ്ദേഹം നിർബന്ധിച്ചു. അതിൻ്റെ കാരണം അദ്ദേഹം ആ കാലത്ത് അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ പ്രിയതമയായ ശാരദ കൃഷ്ണ അയ്യരുമായിട്ടുള്ള വിരഹദുഃഖത്തിൽ കഴിയുന്ന ഒരു കാലഘട്ടം. ഒരവസരത്തിൽ ഞാൻ എല്ലാ ദിവസവും എൻ്റെ ശാരദയുടെ കൂടെ ജോഗി ചെയ്യും. ഇന്ന് രാവിലെയും ഞാൻ വർത്തമാനം പറഞ്ഞു. കം വിത്ത് മീ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് എന്നെ കൊണ്ട് സൈഡ് റൂമിൽ ശാരദ കൃഷ്ണ അയ്യരുടെ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ പ്രിയതമ്മയുടെ മുറിയിലേക്ക് കൊണ്ടുപോവുകയാണ്. അവിടെ വളരെ മനോഹരമായി സാരികളും ബാംഗിൾസും കാര്യങ്ങളുമൊക്കെ അങ്ങനെ നിരത്തി വെച്ചിരിക്കുന്നു. അതിനകത്ത് ചെന്നാൽ ശാരദ കൃഷ്ണ അയ്യർ അവിടുന്ന് അപ്പം ഇറങ്ങി പോയിട്ടേ ഉള്ളൂ എന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു. അത്രയ്ക്ക് ഭംഗിയായിട്ട് ഒക്കെ അലങ്കരിച്ച് അവിടെ തന്നെ ഇരിപ്പുണ്ട്. എന്നോട് പറഞ്ഞ് ഐ യൂസ് ടു ടോക്ക് ടു ഹെർ എവറി ഡേ ഇൻ ദിസ് റൂം. അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് ഏറ്റവും ഇഷ്ടപ്പെടുന്ന അതും മനസ്സിൽ സൂക്ഷിച്ചിരുന്നതുമായ വലിയൊരു കാര്യം അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ പ്രിയതമ ശാരദ വീണ വായിക്കുന്ന അത് കേൾക്കുന്നതുമായിരുന്നു.
In collaboration with different voluntary organizations and individuals, several institutions were established to commemorate Sharada Krishna Iyer. Scholarships, endowments, libraries, fine arts societies, women empowerment projects, and so on. The Sharada Krishna Sadgamaya Foundation for Law and Justice, of which Krishna